Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Leïla, and on this channel I talk about personal development and my life in Seoul, South Korea. Today I want to discuss filing your taxes as an employee of a small company in Korea. The things I discovered blew my mind, and not in the right way. I cannot wait to share that with you and get your opinion on the situation. And to stick with the topic of work, we'll finish the video with my visa renewal and discuss new visas the Korean government will introduce this year. If this sounds like something you are interested in, keep on watching. I work for a social media marketing company, for those who don't know. I got my E7 work visa in early 2022. If you want to know more about how I got my E7 visa, what's an E7 visa, I made a detailed video that I will link somewhere, so go ahead and watch it. Now back to our topic du jour. I had to file my Korean taxes at the beginning of this year. Before I share my outrage, I think it's important that I put things into perspective for you. I'm an American citizen. I've only worked in the US, and I am familiar with paying my taxes the American way. For regular employees like I was back in Boston, at the beginning of the year, you get a document from your company called a W-2. It shows your gross pay and all the taxes taken from your paychecks throughout the year. With that W-2 and tons of other personal documents, you either go to the IRS website, and the IRS is the US entity in charge of tax collection, among other things. So you go to their website and you file your taxes, or you use third-party services. The truth is, most people use third-party services because it's all done online, it is fast, it's cheap, it's not complicated. And again, the personal information you provide, you provide it to a private company, a service company that's used to handling this kind of information. I want you to remember that in the US, your employer is unaware of most of your personal information, except for basic things such as your full name, your social security number, your full address, the money they pay you, and the taxes taken. Now let's talk about the way they do things in Korea. In Korea, the company files your taxes for you. You do not do it yourself. When I first heard that, I was relieved. Knowing I wouldn't have to deal with the stress of figuring out complicated stuff was great, but I quickly changed my mind. When HR started sending me a list of documents they needed and where to go get them, I was dumbfounded. They sent me to the Korean tax office website to retrieve some documents, and what did I discover? That the Korean government has been tracking all my expenses. Every single card transaction was neatly itemized per month. Something that I assumed only my bank should know is staring at me right in the face. I mean, I was shocked. In the insurance section, health insurance, that section was even more shocking because there was a list of all my medical expenses with the name of the places I went to, like the hospitals, and the prices I paid. So I had to generate this report and hand it over to my company. My company got to know how much tens of millions of Korean won I spent during the year because it was right there. And the crazy part is they also got to know about my medical history. Granted, I only had contact lenses related expenses, and that one time I went to the dentist at a hospital. But imagine if you have a severe condition or any mental health related treatment, how would you feel sharing that information? Because it'll be right there, the name of the hospital or the clinic and the kind of treatment that you received. You can't hide it. And it makes so much sense now, because when I ask Koreans back in the days why taking care of their mental health, such as seeking therapy, was so taboo, someone once told me because it is somewhat public information. And I did not understand what it meant until now. The stigma that could potentially come from this. Why would you go see a specialist when you know that information can be handed to your company? But hold on, I'm not done. No. Guess what? What else do you need to give your company? Personal information about your family, your parents, your siblings, your spouse if you're married. Now, I don't have family here, so I did not have to do it, but geez, can you imagine? You also need to report any housing related expenses, all your personal investments, etc. And none of it applied to me because I live such a basic life in Korea. So I did not look further into it. But yeah, no privacy at all. Now, I just want you to understand that I am not against providing that information. I mean, filing your taxes, the government needs to know all of that. But in America, it stays between you and the government or the third-party service that you're using, which is again a service that is dedicated to filing your taxes. So that information kind of remains private. But in Korea, you have to give that information to your company. And that's the part that bothers me because the company ends up knowing so much about you. It is crazy. Now, of course, when I say you give it to the company, not everyone in the company knows, only the HR people or perhaps the business manager. But if your company is small, you bet your CEO could know. Anyway, I feel like it is such a breach of privacy having to hand over sensitive materials like this and being tracked. How is it in your country? I'm curious. Are you as shocked as I am, or do you think it's not a big deal? Do you think I am overreacting? Let me know in the comment section. I'm very curious. There could be instances when you file your taxes and the government realizes that they owe you money because you overpaid your taxes. That was the case with me in Korea. So in 2022, I overpaid my taxes. Therefore, the government gave me money back, and they gave me that money through my next paycheck. Now, if you owe money to the government, meaning that you did not pay enough taxes the year before, then what the government does, again, that's something that kind of blew my mind as well, is that they will garnish your paycheck. They will take the money out of your paycheck. So your company would then say, listen, this is how much money you owe in taxes. We can either take the full amount on your next paycheck, or we can have a payment plan on your next 3 paychecks. And to me, again, it is, I don't know, if you owe money for taxes, it should be between you and the government. You can have your own payment plan and you can deal with it. But the fact that they go straight, and take it out of your paycheck without you having a say in it, to me, again, I don't know. I just don't like that. So the whole filing tax process took about a month from the time our company requested the information and the time they came back with us with a full report from the tax office saying that, hey, this is it's like a PDF you get stating that your taxes have been filed, and then at the bottom you get to see if you owe money or if money is owed to you. But yeah, that was the crazy journey relating to taxes I wanted to go ahead and share with you. And again, I want to know, what do you think? What do you think of it? Let's move on to our next topic, visa. My E7 visa was only worth a year. It expired at the beginning of March 2023. Once again, the company, through a lawyer, handled the matter. This time, I only had to provide my current apartment lease, my passport, my resident card, and a tax document. My company had to provide an employment letter stating that I was still an employee and how much money I was making and all that kind of stuff, and God knows what else. As I am recording this, my application is still processing. There is a backlog apparently. If I don't get my passport and my resident card before the end of this month, I will miss my trip to Vietnam. So let's hope it doesn't get to that point. I'm assuming that the visa will only be valid for another year. We all know that losing your job will mean losing your visa. So why not give us an E7 visa valid for a few years? I mean, if we get fired, we will lose it anyway. But no, immigration seems to want to keep an eye on foreign employees, so they'll have us go through the same process every year. Now, granted, it is not a difficult process, but it is just annoying to know that you have to redo the same thing over and over, and sometimes it could conflict with plans that you have, like me wanting to travel at the end of March when my visa expires beginning of March. Anyway, at this point, I'm just gonna leave it up to the universe to decide if I should go to Vietnam or not. It's out of my head. There really is nothing. Well, there's something I can do. I can definitely call immigration every other 2 days and check on the status of my application. That way, as soon as it's approved, I can just run there and grab my passport and my resident card. And the reason why I'm thinking of doing that is because last year, the lawyer took his sweet time. I mean, the whole process was approved and he didn't say anything. The only way I found out was when I called the insurance, and I was basically calling to say, hey, I'm switching visas right now. I hope that's not going to be an issue. And the lady over the phone said, well, your visa was already switched 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, what? So it was approved 2 weeks ago and the lawyer hadn't said anything. So I had to tell my company, listen, it's already approved. Call the lawyer and figure out what's going on. And the lawyer's like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm gonna go pick it up. So for 2 extra weeks, I was stressed over a situation that was already handled. So I don't want that to happen again this time because I desperately need my passport by the 30th. So I will definitely keep an eye on it, because sometimes when you count on people to do their job, they think that, their time is too valuable to spend it on your situation. And I can't afford to take that risk. So this is definitely what I'm going to do. Anyway, let's move on to another topic I wanted to discuss that's visa related. It's about 2 new visas that are going to be introduced this year by the Korean government, and I want you to be aware of it, just in case you are interested. The first visa is a Hallyu visa, also known as a K-culture training visa, that would allow foreigners to stay in Korea for a maximum of 2 years. All you have to do is register at a local performing academy where you would learn either acting or dancing. Now, of course, there are many dance studios and acting academies in Korea, so I'm pretty sure they're going to come up with a list of eligible places you need to be a student of in order to get that visa. I don't know if there will be a restriction in terms of like your age, but again, we have to wait. I think it's gonna come out like during summertime or something. That's when they will decide exactly what the criteria are. The second visa is for professionals, and this is, I would say, a digital nomad visa for foreigners who work remotely and who would like to stay in Korea. So the only thing I know for sure is that you have to prove to the Korean government that you have a remote job and that you're earning money. I don't know if there would be a restriction in terms of like how much money you need to make every month in order to get that visa. I hope not, because that would kind of suck. But again, not much detail as of now. It's gonna come out soon, so keep an eye out for that. I would also put a link in the description box of an article that talks about those 2 visas. Alright, that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to share your opinion in the comment section and hit the notification bell and subscribe for more content. Thank you very much and take very good care of yourselves. Bye!